Hello everyone, welcome to Math Tired Club, where we make all those hard things very, very easy. I hope you're doing well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and also share the videos with your friends if you find them helpful. And also check out the previous videos on my channel. I'm sure you're gonna find them really helpful. And don't forget to promote my channel and recommend it to your friends. That's gonna give me a lot of enthusiasm to make better and better videos. Okay, in today's lesson we're going to talk about sign diagram, and I'm going to show you a way that you can draw the sign diagram for any function, and it's going to be super duper easy, I promise. So I'm going to start with my first example. I'm going to go through my first example step by step so that you understand it, and after understanding the first example, the rest is going to be super duper easy. Okay, so number one, f of x is equal to 2x plus 1. The very first thing that I do in order to find the sign diagram of anything is this, that I find the zero of it, okay? So it's like I find the x-intercept. So 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, then x is negative 1 over 2. That's going to be the zero of this function. After this, for my first example, I'm going to graph it to show you exactly what's happening. But then after the first one, we don't need to do the graph every time. I'm just doing this to you. I'm just doing this for you so that you understand what's happening, okay? So I'm going to graph this, and this is a line. And in order to graph it, I need a chart. So I'm going to have my chart, and I'm going to have x and y. One of the points is negative 1 over 2 and 0, which I know, and the other one can be negative 1 and negative 1. Then I'm going to graph it very quickly. So this is going to be the graph. So negative 1 over 2 and 0 and negative 1 and negative 1. Let's say it's going to be here. Plot the points in form of a line. I also have a video on lines and graphing lines. I'm going to link it in the description box below. You can check that out too. So this is going to be the line. Pay attention, guys. This is negative 1 over 2 here, okay? So after negative 1 over 2, my y's are becoming all positive, and before negative 1 over 2, my y's are becoming all negative. So everything is based on the zero or the x-intercept that I have over here. So if I were to draw the sign diagram for this, so it would have been, the function is 2x plus 1, and the 0 is negative half. So before negative half, the behavior of the function is the opposite of a, and a is a number that is getting multiplied by x, okay? It's positive. So before half, the behavior of the function is going to be opposite of whatever a is, and after the 0, which is negative half, the behavior of the function is going to be whatever the sign of a is, which is going to be positive. And you can see that graphically as well. And what I'm going to do is the same thing for all of the other questions as well. So if you understand this one, you will get the rest very, very easily. I'm going to do question number 2 now. And guys, don't be scared of huge like powers and numbers. I'm going to show you that it's going to be super duper easy. So for number 2, I have 3 parts. I'm going to find the zeros of each of them separately. X plus 1 is 0, then x is negative 1. That's one of them. Then negative 3x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then x is going to be negative 1 over 3. And then the other one, 2x plus 11 is equal to 0. So then x is negative 11 over 2. Okay. So then I'm going to draw the sign diagram. I'm going to be back. Ta-da! Back with the sign diagram. So guys, as you see, I have listed the different parts of this function. And I have also the zeros sorted from the least, which is negative 11 over 2, to the most, which is negative 1 over 3. The order matters. And then I'm going to do it step by step with you. So the 0 of the first one is going to be here. Pay attention to the power. When the power is an odd number, it doesn't have any effect on what the sign is going to be, because you know that even powers are going to make numbers positive, but odd powers do not change the originality of the number itself. So before that, it's going to be the opposite of whatever the sign of A is, which is positive here. So the opposite of it, it's going to be negative. And after that, it's going to be whatever the sign of A is, which is positive. So for the next one, I'm going to have the 0, which is negative 1, okay? So for this one, guys, something that I forgot to pay attention to is this, that since 2x plus 11 is in the denominator, this is one of those roots that is not going to be in the domain of it. So it's best if I drew the line dashed, okay? So also pay attention to that. So pay attention to something. The power here is 100. It's an even number. So it doesn't matter what number we have inside. It's always going to be positive. The answer of this always is going to be positive, okay? What if it had a negative just before this? Then what would the answer be? Think about it, guys. So the answer of this whole thing is always going to be positive. Then every positive number was supposed to get multiplied by negative. Then the answer would be always a negative, okay? So don't forget that. So I'm going to switch back to what we have in the question. And then afterwards, let's talk about the last one. The power is 5, and this is the 0. The power doesn't change anything about the sign. So I'm going to have before the 0, it's going to be opposite of whatever the sign of A is, which is going to be positive. And after the 0, it's going to be whatever the sign of A is, which is negative. Then I'm going to do and find out the answer. Negative times positive is going to be negative, and negative times positive is going to be negative. They're all positive, and negative. So this is going to be the sign diagram for f of x and whatever the whole thing was. So as you can imagine, it doesn't matter what powers are given to you. It doesn't matter what this is. It's going to be super duper easy and super duper simple if you just go with the different zeros, and if you just separately kind of like draw the sign diagram for them and then find the multiplication, and then you're going to have the answer. Number 3, I'm going to do number 3 right now too. I'm going to do it 2 ways so that you would see that both of these 2 ways are possible. So number 3, first I'm going to find the zeros. It's going to be x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we don't need parentheses there. So it's going to be x is negative 1. And then we have x minus 1 is equal to 0. So we're going to have x is equal to 1. So I'm going to draw the sign diagram, and I'm going to be back in a second. So ta-da, I'm back with our sign diagram. So again, what I'm going to do is the same thing. The 0 of the first part is going to be negative 1. Before that, opposite of whatever the sign of A is. And after this one is going to be positive 1. Before, opposite, after, it's going to be the same. So it's going to be positive, negative, and positive. I want you to pay attention to something. Here, I did not consider this negative number getting multiplied by my graph, okay? So this sign diagram is only for f of, if f of x was x plus 1 times x minus 1. But then if it gets multiplied by a negative, then whatever I have in the last part is going to be multiplied by negative. So it's going to be negative, positive, and negative, and that's going to be the last answer. But in this part, I'm going to teach you a much easier way to do this. So when I have like a quadratic situation here, what I can do is this, that I can have the sign diagram. Going to be back with the sign diagram. Ta-da, back with the sign diagram here. In between the roots, I have a quadratic function, okay? Because if you multiply these back to each other, you're going to have a quadratic function. In between the roots, it's going to be opposite of whatever the number a is over here that is getting multiplied by these two. So it's going to be positive because here it's negative, and outside the roots, it's going to be whatever the sign of a is, which you can see I got the same answer over here too. But this way is much faster and much quicker and sometimes much easier for people to do. So if I have a quadratic function, what I need to do is this, that I would find the zeros. And then after that, in between the roots, it's going to be the opposite of whatever the sign of a is. And outside, it's going to be exactly what the sign of a is. I'm going to do the next question now. So ta-da, I'm back with the question and the sign diagram. So listen, first of all, we have a quadratic function, so it's best if we find the zeros first. For this, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. Guys, I also have a video on quadratic formula. I'm going to link it in the description box below. Go check it out. It's very, very helpful. So it's going to be x is equal to -1 plus minus radical b squared, which is 1 squared, minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a, which is 2 times 6. So it's going to be x is equal to -1 plus minus radical 25 over 12. So x is once going to be 1 over 3 and -1 over 2. So these are the roots. So it's going to be -1 over 2. I'm going to start with the smaller root and I'm going to move on to the bigger one. So f of x. So in between the roots, it's going to be the opposite of whatever sign of a is, which is negative. And outside the roots, it's going to be positive. And if I were to graph it, you would have seen the same thing. Guys, I'm going to go and graph it so that you would actually see what's happening. It's a minimum. So the graph is going to be approximately looking like this. 1 over 3 and -1/2, kind of like this. So as you see, in between the roots, the sign of the function is negative, and outside it's positive, as we have over there. See, outside it's positive, in between is negative. This part, okay? So interesting, huh? Let's go and do number 5. I'm going to be back with number 5. So ta-da, I'm back with number 5. So the first thing I'm going to do is this, that I'm going to find the solutions. So at first, let's see, x is equal to -b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So this is going to be -5 plus minus radical b squared over, it's going to be -11 over 2 times 3. So as you can see, delta, the number, the discriminant, the number behind, under the radical is negative. So I'm not going to have any roots. No real roots, right? So in this situation, whatever the sign of a is, we're going to have our graph there. So here, a is 3, it's positive. So f of x is always going to be positive, okay? And if I were to graph this, you would have seen that the graph is like above the x-axis, and it's always going to be positive. So Guys, I hope that you can have, you can have the combination of all of these together, and you can have like a chart such as the one we had over here, and you can have them all together by calculation of all of them. It's not going to be hard, it's just going to be time consuming. So don't worry about it, guys. I will also put some homework in the description box below. Don't forget to do them. If you have any questions, please write it in the comment section. Guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and also share the videos with your friends. Don't forget to promote my channel, please. And I hope that you have enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Bye.